Right, let's revisit the scale and distance worksheet that many of you seem to have struggled with or lost. One last chance to avoid a detention. So let's have a look at this. These are lines on an imaginary map. The map's not there, but these are lines taken off the map, and we need to work out how long these lines are in reality. So we need a ruler. Now, it's asking for the answers in miles, because that's what I need to know if I'm going on a walk and you're telling me how long this line is. I need to know how many miles it is, not how many centimetres it is, because that's not how far I've got to walk in reality. So, I get a ruler. I measure up against here. Let's call that 1.5 centimetres. So 1.5 centimetres, we go against the scale, and that is half of our scale, which is 3 centimetres is 1 mile. So 1.5 centimetres is half a mile. Let's do it for B then. Measure the line here, let's call it 6 centimetres just to make life simple. So 6 centimetres against here, 3 centimetres is 1 mile, 6 centimetres is double 3 centimetres, so the distance is double 1 mile. Sure you can work it out. This one, we've got 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5. How many centimetres is that? Now work it out against the scale as to how many miles, convert it into how many miles. D can still be done with a ruler. Let's start there, and we'll see that where it's about 1 centimetre is where the bend is. So you're keeping the 1 centimetre in the same place on the paper, twist the ruler round, and here we go. We've now got the length of the line, roughly 7.5 centimetres. So these squiggly ones, a bit more tricky. We need a piece of paper for this. We do the same trick as with the ruler. We put the beginning of the paper at the beginning of the line, and we draw a line at the point where the curve is. And now we turn our bit of paper round, trying carefully, which I'm not doing very well, to keep this line here at the point on the line where the bend was. And we put in a second line, and then we twist this round till we get to the third line, and then we twist this round until we get to the end. That is the length of our straight line if we ironed it out, and it is 3.5 centimetres. Use the scale, tell me the distance in miles. So let's look at the map of London here. We've got a scale here. The first question's very easy. How many real life kilometres are there in every 1 centimetre on the map? Well, 1 centimetre is worth 10 kilometres. So now let's use the map, a more real life situation here. How many real life kilometres are there to every centimetre on the map? Well, that's given to you by the scale. 10 kilometres, there's a free one for you to start with. Now let's look at how far Barnet is from Enfield. So let's measure that. Barnet to Enfield, 2 centimetres. That is 1 centimetre is 10 kilometres, 2 centimetres is, over to you, Bromley from Croydon. There's Croydon, there's Bromley. Let's have another look. Oh look, it's about 2 centimetres again. Oh, that's going to be the same as number 2. And on you go. Now let's look at this map of central London where it gets more closed in. How long is Westminster Bridge? Let's measure Westminster Bridge. Let's call it 3 centimetres. What's the odd millimetre between friends? 3 centimetres. So let's look at the scale. It's 1 centimetre is 75 metres in real life. So 3 centimetres is going to be 3 75s. 2 75s is 150. 3 75s, 225. So the answer is 225 metres. Houses of Parliament is shown as its proper name of the Palace of Westminster. How far does the Prime Minister have to travel to get from 10 Downing Street to Parliament? Well, 10 Downing Street we have here. Number 10 is quite a long way up 10 Downing Street. So we go, it's about 1.5 centimetres for the Prime Minister to walk from her front door to Whitehall. She turns down Whitehall and that's about 4 centimetres, so we're 5.5 centimetres, and then let's give it half a centimetre for her to walk into the building. So 6 centimetres. Use the grid, the scale, to calculate 6 centimetres converted into metres, so 75 times 6. And on we go down the question sheet. Now let's look at the perimeter. Jubilee Gardens, the perimeter, that's 1.5 centimetres that way. That way it's 2 centimetres. That way it's, we'll call it 2 centimetres. And that way we'll call it 2.5 centimetres. So 1.5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2.5 is the perimeter. That is the distance if you walked round the edge. Now do the same for Horse Guards Parade, and the question asks you which is bigger. Over to you.